Imagine living in a town where death is not exactly forbidden. But the town itself cannot accept the dead, a place where bodies cannot be buried, where seriously ill residents are taken hundreds of kilometers away to live out their final days, and where the frozen ground beneath your feet has forced humans to rethink one of life's most fundamental truths. This is Longyearbyen, Norway, the northernmost permanent settlement on Earth, a small Arctic town with just around 2,000 residents. Yet it holds one of the world's most unusual rules: nobody is allowed to die here. Located on the Svalbard archipelago, halfway between mainland Norway and the North Pole, Longyearbyen is one of the most remote communities in the world. The town is surrounded by towering glaciers, jagged mountains, and the endless white wilderness of the Arctic. During the long winter months, the sun disappears completely for more than 2 months. And during the Arctic summer, the sun never sets. Temperatures can drop far below freezing, and polar bears roam the surrounding landscape. For most people, this would seem like an impossible place to live. Yet, for the residents of Longyearbyen, it is home. Life here is beautiful, harsh, and extraordinary all at once. But one truth about human existence cannot be accommodated within the frozen ground: death. To understand why, you first need to understand the land beneath this Arctic town. Longyearbyen sits on permafrost, soil that remains frozen throughout the year. In most parts of the world, when someone is buried, natural processes gradually break down the body. But here, the frozen ground dramatically slows decomposition. Bodies buried in Longyearbyen remain preserved for decades. They are almost frozen in time, untouched by the processes of decay that the rest of the world takes for granted. In the early 1900s, residents who died were buried in the local cemetery. At first, this seemed normal. But as the decades passed, scientists noticed something remarkable. The cold Arctic soil preserved the bodies so well that traces of viruses and bacteria, including the Spanish flu virus from 1918, remained in the frozen remains even decades later. This discovery alarmed both the townspeople and health authorities. It revealed a terrifying possibility. A virus buried in frozen ground could survive far longer than anyone had imagined. From that point on, Longyearbyen drastically changed how it dealt with death. New burials were effectively stopped. But this does not mean that people in Longyearbyen cannot die. They can. The difference is what happens afterward. When someone becomes seriously ill or reaches the end of life, they are usually transported to mainland Norway, hundreds of kilometers away. Pregnant women often leave the town to give birth because Longyearbyen's medical facilities are not equipped for complicated deliveries. Elderly residents who require advanced care must relocate before their final years. In other words, life in Longyearbyen is built to support birth, growth, and daily living, but not the natural conclusion of life itself. Despite this extraordinary rule, day-to-day life in Longyearbyen continues much like any other town. Children go to school, people work in shops, research stations, and local businesses. Families socialize, locals walk through snowy streets, dogs frolic in the snow, and tourists arrive to experience one of the most unique environments on Earth. The town was once a bustling coal mining settlement. Today, it thrives as a hub for Arctic research, exploration, and tourism. Scientists come here to study climate change and Arctic ecosystems. Visitors arrive to witness glaciers, Arctic wildlife, and one of the few places on Earth where humans live in extreme isolation. But life at the top of the world comes with other unusual rules. Residents are advised to carry rifles outside town, not because of other humans, but because of the polar bears that roam the nearby wilderness. Encounters with these massive, powerful predators are a real risk. Another surprising rule: cats are not allowed in Longyearbyen. This is not an eccentric preference. It is a measure to protect the Arctic ecosystem, particularly local bird populations. Even small decisions, what pets can live here, have consequences in such a fragile environment. The permafrost also affects daily life in unexpected ways. The ground is permanently frozen, making construction, plumbing, and roadwork extraordinarily difficult. Burial is impossible. And yet, the residents have adapted. People here understand the limits of their environment and work around them. They have learned to coexist with extreme cold, months of darkness, and wildlife that could easily threaten humans. They carry weapons for protection. They respect the Arctic's rules, and they live full lives despite them. Longyearbyen teaches us something profound about human adaptation. It is a town that reminds us life is resilient, even under the most extreme conditions. People here are born, grow, and live as anywhere else. But the final act, death itself, must happen elsewhere. The frozen Arctic is a harsh guardian of life, a place where human ingenuity meets the limits of nature. The Spanish flu discovery and decades of preserved remains are a reminder that even science sometimes meets the unexpected. In Longyearbyen, the permafrost does not just preserve history, it preserves a rule that shapes every life in the town. It affects how families plan, how hospitals operate, and how the community organizes itself. Even a seemingly simple action, like leaving the town, becomes a matter of survival and respect for the Arctic environment. Residents have accepted these rules without complaint. They celebrate life in Longyearbyen, enjoy community gatherings, explore the Arctic wilderness, and continue to contribute to research and tourism. For visitors, the town is a place of wonder, mystery, and curiosity. But for residents, it is home, a place where normal life exists alongside a rule that no one else could imagine. Longyearbyen does not ban death in the conventional sense. It merely respects the laws of nature in this extreme Arctic environment. A town where life thrives amidst ice, snow, polar nights, and wandering bears. Where birth, work, exploration, and community continue. But the final chapter, the end of life, must take place somewhere else. As the Arctic night deepens and the northern lights dance above Longyearbyen, the town quietly reminds us of the delicate balance between human life and nature's extremes. Here, every decision, where to live, how to travel, and even which animals can share the environment, must respect the rules imposed by the frozen wilderness. Residents have adapted not only to survive, but to thrive in one of the harshest inhabited places on Earth. In Longyearbyen, life is not measured merely by days lived, but by the resilience, resourcefulness, and courage required to exist in a land where nature sets the limits. This final chapter of human adaptation shows us that even at the very edge of the world, life finds a way to persist, shaping stories that will be remembered for generations. For anyone fascinated by extreme human environments, the Arctic, or the unexpected rules of survival, Longyearbyen is a living example of resilience, adaptation, and the extraordinary ways humans respond to nature. Thanks for watching. If you love discovering the hidden stories behind the world's most unusual places, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the bell. We bring the strangest, most incredible facts and mini-documentaries straight to your screen every week, so don't miss out on what's coming next. Join us and explore the unexpected with Factverse.